Hi everyone, welcome to pitchIN Pod and Selamat Hari Merdeka. I'm Nicholas from pitchIN. I lead the Token Crowdfunding business at pitchIN. And today I'm here to bring you a very special podcast episode. And this is special because as we are celebrating our country's 67 years of independence, we have a very special project with us today that we'll be showcasing, the Living History Project. So it's special because, and I think it's very thematic and very nationalistic because this project is basically on a mission to uncover and preserve the story of Malaysia by sort of speaking through the voices of the many people that are in front of us, have stood before us, and those that have shaped Malaysia to where it is today. And I think to tell us the story of this project, how it came to be, its journey, we have with us today the man and the lady behind the project, Bobby Wong, which is the founder and owner of Living History Project, and also Nafhah Liyana, the co-founder and producer of Living History Project. So I think to start things off, right, I think we want to get the audience to know you guys a bit more. So I know that I think you guys come from a very different background. I think Bobby, you are sort of a very successful businessman in the real estate space, and Liyana, you've been in the creative industry for most of your career, and it's quite interesting that you guys managed to come together and create this project. So maybe could you share with us a little bit about your background, your journey before you started Living History, and why and how it came to be, this project itself?
Well, okay, I'm, as you said, I'm from a real boring business, property development, right? Compared to all these new things, so much more exciting technology, so much exciting. But it's a family business. It earns good money, So, and I've been quite lucky. My father's been building it for like decades. But that was many years ago. So now, a couple of years ago, I've retired, semi-retired, finished all my projects, and I started to pursue some of my own passion. Some of the passion is history. History is my first love. I was in school. And then there's filmmaking, the film industry. Again, that's my second love. But then my father said, don't go do all this, cannot make money. I say, fine, okay. So, I did my duty as a good son. Yeah. Once I finished, then I pursue. Then after a while, when I look at myself, I was kind of like drifting towards the wrong side of 50. So I kind of say, I better start doing something that's meaningful to my life.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that I have to be in a position to pursue that, and I shouldn't waste it.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the first sort of art projects that I did was actually a film project, film industry called the Seeing Eye Films. Yeah. And when during that time I was thinking, how do I make money in the film industry? I realized that it doesn't make money. okay. Majority don't make money. Yeah. At least not as much as property development. Okay. So I realized, there's another way for me to participate in the film industry. And that is to support the industry, right? To support the industry. So what I did was that I created a small fund. I invited a lot of young filmmakers, who are talented filmmakers, and for them to come up with stories. And I will fund a bit of their, like a seed money for them to produce short films. Because a lot of the film people, they need a product to show their talent. And the only product they have is inside their head. I didn't get to transfer it into film. So that's why I was doing that. Okay. So I was supporting a lot of young filmmakers. That was quite nice, quite exciting, dealing with art, film, and young people. And that's where I met my partner here, who is in the film industry. Okay. And you came in as a...
Back then it was just production assistant.
Right? Yeah. So anyway, that's how we met in the beginning. So from there onwards, we sort of did, because she's equally as creative as I am, and we share a lot of common things, on creativity and arts and film and everything. So, and then we kind of carry on from there.
Were you funded by one of the seeding?
I funded everything. Okay. She was, obviously she was unknown coming in. Yeah. And I found her to be extremely reliable. And good thing about it, she's strong. Despite her size, she's really strong. And for a senior citizen like me, that helps a lot with a bad back. So when we have a lot of production, now she's in charge of the production. I'll leave you to talk about that in more detail. But she's able to carry the lights and sort of like make, if you know film industry, there's a lot of props, there's a lot of gearing, there's a lot of lights that have to move. I think she's the best position to do it.
Okay, okay. So you guys met during that program. So I think, so Liyana, I imagine your life that's before Bobby and after Bobby. So what is it like, right? I think,
I think before Bobby, I was within the production industry, but it was more buying and selling of content.
Okay.
So I used to work for a German TV channel actually, but they had their HQ here in KL because they married Malaysians.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, but it was a bit boring. It was the boring end of production. So when I joined, that time it was Seeing Eye Films,
Okay.
which then progressed to Seeing Eye Arts because that was about the time MCO hit.
Yeah.
And so we just had our own art projects that we would do together. And after a while, we're like, we should do something more meaningful with our talent and time. And so thinking about what can we do to give back to society kind of thing. And that's how the Living History project came about.
Okay. So and I think, so it started as a Seeing Eye Arts, and then it sort of transformed to Living History project.
Seeing Eye Arts, it's like the catch-all for all my arts project. One of the things I'm building, I mean, if you don't mind me saying so, I'm actually building a physical museum because I like to collect art and kind of running out of space to hang my paintings. So I got to build something to hang my stuff. So Seeing Eye Arts is part of this whole project. Basically, it's about anything to do with arts. I have my other projects that make money, so I keep that separate. Seeing Eye Arts is about arts, creativity, and community projects.
And giving back to the community to help develop.
In a way, to keep it clean.
Of course.
Yeah.
And good that you mentioned about your art collection. I've been to Bobby's office. A lot of crazy collection. We won't. I mean, if you want to spend time to talk about it, I think that will take one day.
Yeah,
maybe Bobby, if there's one collection that you like the most, maybe just to give a bit of a spice to the audience, what would that be? Right.
Well, there's this one that I'm kind of proud of. It's by this very well-known mainland Chinese artist called Zhang Huang. He's very well known in New York for the longest time. And the piece that I have, it's actually a large picture of the Last Supper. The difference is it's made of ashes from joysticks. So he actually got these joysticks, all these ashes, obviously powder, and then he created this Last Supper kind of thing. If you come to my office, you can see it. I think you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a bragging rights, like quite interesting in this because it's made of ashes. And secondly, it's Last Supper, and it's from a very famous artist, Zhang Huang.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. I mean, going to Bobby's office is a very surreal experience. you find very philosophical pieces over there that gets you starting to think. I think that's what really art is for, right? Is to tell a story. And I think, which is why I think it's good that you guys are doing this Living History project. So I think you started off how it was Seeing Eyes film. Was it a small team?
It was a team of three.
Yeah.
The key, because again, same thing again, like our Living History.
Yeah.
Because we are really in a way like a social enterprise.
Yeah.
So we obviously need to keep our costs down.
That's right.
So everything will be subcontracted out. All the talents. It will be project by project basis.
Okay. So maybe can you share a little bit, because I think you're obviously very passionate about arts and culture and giving back to the community. Like for Living History, like what do you see are like what you want to achieve with Living History? What's the main mission that you're trying to do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on a microscopic scale, it's a simple idea.
Yeah.
It is just a digital repository of stories of people.
Okay.
Simple, right? Simple to set up also. On the bigger scale, there's so many more meanings. There's so many more meanings to it. So many more important values to think through. I mean, one of them could be, one of them is, I always very proud to say this because everyone kind of agree to it, that, our Malaysian history should be written by the people and not by the government. And all of them would say, yeah, that's a good idea,
that's true,
right?
Yeah.
So I think on the general scale, we Malaysians should write our own history.
Okay.
That's very important, yeah?
Okay.
And then the other thing also is, at the end of the day, we also need to give meaning and value to these individuals who have given so much to the country. And history is more than just politicians and big time heroes. You know what I mean, right? It's about the people.
Yes.
There are a lot. I mean, we all know. I mean, I'm just rehashing some of the things that we know. There's so many more local heroes out there with interesting stories to tell, right? I think we should, and for me, I love stories, and the best way to to listen to stories is for them to answer this, to tell their stories personally, and not written by the government, not researched by the academics, by these people themselves. And it's really about life sharing. You know, I mean, I always keep thinking about this. I'm sure, like all of us, we have parents. I mean, if we're lucky, we have parents around that we can share a lot of stories together. But you know, Asians, what are Asians like? The parents, you know, it's the boss. We don't really talk too much with them. They're more like ordering us down, right? Asian family. So we don't really get the connection. And I feel sometimes it's such a sad thing when your parents pass away, you don't really know the stories of these individuals.
Yeah.
And here I am in my own small little way, in my small little living history setup, hopefully trying to do that, is to let these people tell their own, share their life stories that they may never tell their children. But because they are giving the opportunity to do so, and giving the opportunity because they know their time is kind of like coming to an end. Like, let's face it, right? We all come to an end, right? So in a way, I'm giving an opportunity for them to leave a legacy of some sort. Not just to the children, up to their children, but also to the community, and to connect to the future. Decades from now, people looking back, they will look at the picture, they look at, you know, whatever newsreel, and there's no connection.
Yeah.
But if I'm able to listen to the story of this person who's giving his heart and soul to talk about his life, his journey, you know, there's a bit of a connection in a way for what it's worth. You know, it's like a time machine. I know I'm talking about very general, but this is the thing, this is the passion that drives me to be able to connect the current to the future. You know, to the old, to the young, to the living, and to the dead. You know.
Yeah, I like the idea, right? I think really, I do agree. You know, the history or story should be told by someone that has experienced it, right?
And I think even within production, that's how we keep it. We don't give a narrative, or we don't try to push a narrative, and we allow them to freely speak. There's no time limit. So if you watch our videos, we could have some that's just 40 minutes, some that goes on to 1.5 hours. It really depends on the story that they want to tell. So I think that's the beauty of what we do as well. We don't try and cap or...
Yeah, that's good. I mean, and maybe we should make our podcast longer and keep it flow.
Because that's the first thing they always ask us, what's your agenda?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
What can I say, what can I not say?
Yeah, what can I say? I said, look, you say anything you want. But here's the thing, we always give a little assurance to them that once we have the clip done, the whole video done, we give them the right to have a look through it, because sometimes, you know, because they are sharing the perception of their reality, not necessarily the truth. Right? We can only share our own reality in life. What's the truth? We don't know, right? So sometimes they make the mistake. Sometimes maybe they feel a bit concerned about saying certain things. So we always give them the reassurance for our last look before we release it. So that's a nice assurance for them.
Yeah, I think that's good that you guys mentioned about production. Because I know you guys have done quite a number of interviews and a lot of features. I was thinking, and of course, you know, can catch all the interviews on the website, which I'll share later. But maybe just as a teaser, right? Maybe share like some of the people that you've spoken to, have interviewed. Are there any that, you know, really you feel that it's a story that, you know, you really struck a chord with you? You feel that you want to share with the audience as a teaser. I'm sure all of them have very amazing stories. Not to put it on the stage on the spot to pick one over the other, but you know. Is there anything that really, when you were going through the interview with them, producing the feature with them, anything that struck a chord with any one of you?
I think for me, one of the most important interviews that we've done, which sort of made me realize how much more important the work that we do is when we interviewed Louis Pragasam, and he is a really good percussionist. He's one of the first few percussionists we have in Malaysia. And after that interview, I think just a few months after that, he passed on.
Yeah.
And then so that always reminds us that our work is also a race against time. But a profile that was maybe touching was, it's not out yet, but we went to speak to the Paramount Fishermen, and these are a group of Indian fishermen in Penang, and they're the last of their kind, and after they leave, that's the last of it. And so to hear the story that they were actually taught by their Chinese predecessors how to do the fishing, and then they've got their Malay friends that help out around there. So it really is like a wholesome, ideal Malaysia life. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
that really speaks Malaysia, right?
Yeah,
You have
exactly.
all the like a pot of different cultures coming, and that's the last of the tradition once.
Exactly, yeah.
I think I think it's good, and maybe this from what you're sharing, you cover a very wide spectrum. I think you have artists, you have fishermen. Is there any specific type of people that you try to engage, try to interview, try to capture their story? Is it artists? Is it anyone, or is it anyone with a
Well, okay. Sorry to say that there's two people that we do not want to interview.
Okay.
That's politicians and business people. Okay. Simple reason because they are well covered.
okay?
You know what I mean? And that because politicians who are active, they always got a message to talk. I mean, after all, we want genuine expression of their lives. And, for obvious reasons, they cannot reveal themselves too much on a personal level.
yeah.
So after a while, it defeats the whole purpose of what living history is about. Same thing with business people. I mean, there is a huge call from my team to interview a very well-known Malaysian actress, okay, which I won't mention the name. I think we all know who she is, right? But we said also, well, she is active at the moment. She's very, besides that, she's very busy.
Yep.
But I think a lot of them, when they're still out in the social media, in the limelight, and also because they are brand sponsored, so there's a limit to how much they can really express certain things, for obvious reasons. So that's why in a way we don't touch that.
Okay.
But the rest, I think please do
I mean, our
inject
prerequisite is most importantly is that they've done something great for the nation.
something interesting.
Yeah, something
Something
interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Age-wise, I think that's very important.
Age-wise, also we would prioritize
For
towards
obvious
the
reasons.
elder
obvious reasons, yeah.
people. Yeah.
And we try to spread around different industries just to get a feel. Now, but one of the controversial things recently was that we tried to get young people. We just realized that a lot of profiles are quite senior citizens. Okay, so we thought to be fair also. We do not, we don't. There are a lot of young people who have achieved a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't wait for them to retire 30 years and then interview them. Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we interview, can I mention the comedian's name? It's on our website anyway.
Okay.
We have feedback saying, well, why are we interviewing this young chap? He hasn't reached that level thing,
But to us, it's they have done something great. So not necessarily that they have to be of a certain age only that we consider them.
Yeah.
If they've done something for the country, then yeah.
So if I
should
understand
do
correctly, it's really trying to aim for the unsung heroes of the country.
Absolutely, yeah,
Unsung
absolutely,
heroes.
yeah.
That's it.
And of course, age is a consideration because there's a race against time,
Exactly.
right?
At this day and age with social media, everything is. You're a hero on the front page tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, you're a Nasi Lemak rapper. In a way, right? You're forgotten. So for me, I think we're using digital technology. We can preserve a lot of these things on a more permanent basis.
And good that you mentioned that, because I know that interviewing these people is only the tip of the iceberg of what you guys are envisioning. And I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the key theme is really in terms of how to use technology to better preserve not just the profiles of these people, the stories, but also heritage of Malaysia. Right? And I think maybe you can share a little bit. Some could be in the works, some could be ongoing. But could you share a little bit about, besides interviewing and profiling some of these individuals, what are some of the other interesting projects that you are embarking on or you plan to embark on?
Okay, on a technology basis.
I think anything interesting. Because,
Well, we are at the moment we are working with the Asian Pacific University. They have a good technology department. They're very keen and they very appreciated what we're doing. So we're exploring various 3D modeling, augmented reality to how to present some of these historical facts. I mean, at the end, it's all the story is the same, but it's how you present it, how you use technology to make it a bit more interactive and more engaging to the public. So we're using that at the moment.
So we can relieve like the Merdeka Day. Is that the idea? The goal?
That's the whole idea.
That's the idea, okay.
Budget pending.
Budget pending.
And depending how much sponsor we get. Thank you, everyone. So the thing is, and then the other thing we sort of just started is hologram, which I just mentioned to you. The other day, so on our launch, I think I just mentioned it last. We're planning to have a short little hologram demonstration of our team. We just had a shot. We just shot our team, and then we're gonna have little holograms of us doing something you know. The idea being is that one day, if I can, I would love to record some of our, our actors, our sporting heroes, when they're still around, on a digital hologram basis, and if you can combine audio, technically you can have a hologram presenting and talking in front of you.
Yeah.
So that's quite exciting to kind of think about.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that, again, this so far I'm only experimenting myself. I don't know whether it works or not.
Yeah.
Is using ChatGPT. My personal project is called the Digital Me.
Okay.
And this is the thing that I think everyone can go and try if you're a very active user of AI.
Yeah.
Is that I've actually got ChatGPT to list down. I told them what exactly this project is. I want to do a digital me where I want to have the whole data of me, everything about myself.
Okay.
It gave me 100 questions about myself. My favorite color, my first girlfriend, my whatever. Who I dislike, my favorite movies. Etc. Basically, everything you want to know about me is all there.
Yeah.
And you upload it on ChatGPT or one of these AI. And then I ask a question. So the key is that the test is that once I finish all these 100 over questions, it's taking me ages because I want to be as detailed as possible. And then I get my wife to test it. I get my wife to ask ChatGPT, what is Bobby Wong like when he was 18 years? Who was he dating? I want to see how accurate it is.
Wow, okay.
And then I probably get my children or my friends to try it out. So the idea is this, is that large language models,
Yep.
right? It's all data.
Yes.
Right, digital data. If we're able to compile the whole digital data of our life, and we can preserve it in some form, and we have an AI that can actually communicate in a very interactive way, casual way with the user, it'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
If you can bring it into a robot, which by the way, let me share with you, I'm in contact with Unitree in China.
Okay.
They are building this robot dog, and then they have this robot thingy, which I'm exploring to see whether I can
Put yourself in
a humanoid robot
okay.
to see whether I can actually put this AI thingy, ChatGPT a lot of models use it anyway, even the car thing use it, right? EV car, and put it into a robot. But a bit from what I was told, it doesn't work that way. There's still a lot of learning to be done. But stay
that's the
tuned,
future.
stay tuned.
I'm sure. I mean, if I happen to see you have a Bobby robot, I would love to be one of the first few to interact.
But the whole
with.
idea is to explore strange new worlds, right?
Yeah, and I like the idea because I'm thinking like potentially, if for example we capture someone in the form of AI, large language model, although it's not them, but potentially we could even get life advice from our dad or parents, right?
Yeah.
Potentially. Or for me, the first thing I think of is sometimes I don't know what to eat. If I put myself there, I just ask the question, "What should I eat today?" And he will
Exactly, like your own assistant, right?
Yeah. Which I think that's a very interesting application, and I think some of it they already started doing it. I think the one that you're trying to augment the reality, basically preserve heritage. I think I've seen on the website a couple projects that already started.
Yeah.
And the hologram is something that will be showcased as well. During the
on the launch is just to let them know that what can be done, because the thing about hologram is you can photograph it or you can video it, but you can't really see it flat. You got to see it in real life. So that's why I told this Holo Dream, the company, if you don't mind me mentioning the name, I told you, look, you got to show this. You got to show the technology.
Okay.
Then you can see.
Okay. So since we are on the topic, right? So the launch is on the 19th
Correct,
of
19th of
September, after Malaysia Day. I think if you guys interested in this, I think there will be some features, some snippets of the event that we posted on the website. Which you can find in the caption below or link below. And I'll talk a bit more later as well where you can get this information. But I mean, it's very interesting. So the hologram, the AR, and so for me, right, this is oftentimes more philosophical dilemma, right? Because oftentimes I think history, when you think about it, is very boring, right? I mean, of course, no offense, because I know you are a history buff.
It's okay.
But I think to many of us, including myself to some extent, feel history to be quite boring sometimes. And I like that you guys are trying to make it interesting. But one thing I do hear a lot is, sometimes even when we look at the more traditional production, where you look at what do you call it, biography and even those captured in National Geographic, for example, history channels. Sometimes it's hard to find a balance between entertainment and accuracy, right? Trying to pick your brain about this. I think one good example is, I think, Oppenheimer, for example. I think when it was launched, they had sort of, people were talking about whether this is accurate, right? And I think the counter argument is that it's accurate from the lens of the character itself, right? I would want, because I know we have two people that's very passionate about this space. I want to pick your brains a little bit, right? What do you guys think about that, right? Preserving history, balancing between accuracy and sort of entertainment value. What's your thoughts?
I think, well, because predominantly right now our profiles are telling us their history.
Okay.
So in that sense, there isn't an accuracy point besides the dates and things like that.
Yep.
But it's more of what they've gone through in life. So in that sense, there is no right or wrong, no
Okay.
accuracy from
Yep.
there. But for our heritage project, what we are doing is actually teaming up with professors and all to fact check
Okay.
what we're gonna put out in our video beforehand. So yeah, that's
Okay.
what we do.
But history in general, I mean, I like history, so I know, right? History, basically, there's no history that's accurate 100%.
Yeah.
And history is only someone who looks at the data, looks at the writing, and then interprets it in his own
Yep.
angle.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's very important for people to read history to understand. Okay, majority of facts is fine, but in fact, sometimes you got to question sometimes even the facts whether it's accurate or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Who writes the facts is the winners or whatever, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So I think when
The
we
winners write
read
the history.
anything, it's good to bear that in mind. So in our case, we do not pretend to be accurate. We just say we are letting these people to share their lives, share their experience, share their memories. And yes, certain things like our heritage, there's a lot of facts of Penang heritage. There's a lot of history. So those are the professors and the academics. Those can verify that.
But that one also, it's more getting the dates right.
Yeah.
Not really the
Yeah,
stories,
yeah,
because
yeah.
the stories we're still getting it from the people
Yeah,
themselves.
the experience, right?
Exactly,
And
yeah.
If you control too much, then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
And I like I do agree with it because I think I'm sure you've seen the photo where there's an elephant with blind people trying to touch different parts of the elephant. It's still the same thing, but experienced from different lands, right?
exactly.
So I think that's very important point. I think that's probably one of the main value of what the project is trying to achieve. Is really rather than from the top down, someone writing it, it's from people that have experienced it. I think that's very
A
important.
lot of history are written by academics. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
But it's the stories that are interesting.
Yes.
It's not the facts. The facts are okay. It's useful.
Yeah.
But it's actually the lives, human stories, the sharing experience.
Why he's done
Exactly,
this
yeah,
and what
yeah.
led to this from his
Because there's so
experience.
much take home value. There's so much you can learn from a person, or the mistakes that they made, what certain decisions they made. These are the interesting things.
And I think you'll also be able to see that in our interviews because we try and avoid questions that the answers can be found on Google.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever we speak to our profiles, it's more finding out who they are behind their career.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. So how many profiles do you have to date so far?
To date, we have 37 profiles.
37.
Still building, yeah.
Okay, all available on the website.
Not all available on the website yet, but
Okay.
we're expecting to have it all out by the launch date.
Okay. So launch is 19 September. So once it's launched, most of it will be up on the website, which is
Yeah.
the livinghistoryproject.com.
.my.
.my. Yes. You can
Very,
find
very important. Malaysia.
So again, the livinghistoryproject.com.my.
Yeah.
Right. So I think to have all of these crazy ideas, like say, eventually putting yourself in a robot, having hologram being accessible to the public, I think it's a very huge ambition, and like you said, funding pending, right? So which is why I think it's good that you guys have started it, and people love it, right? It's up there. The people that interviewed love it. People that watch it appreciate it. I think you guys are at the point where you guys are trying to scale,
Yep.
right? Which is why I think now you guys are also doing your fundraising campaign, different means, right? Maybe could you share a little bit about, I think at this stage of Living History Project after your launch, what is it that you're trying to do with this fundraising campain after you get the funds? What is it that you're trying to achieve with the funding that you're going to get? So I mean, I think the different ways that they're doing it. I think you guys are also actively getting corporate sponsors.
Yeah.
I think they also we are working out the Token Crowdfunding campaign with pitchIN as well, and I'm sure there are other means where people can contribute and donate. But I think for all this purpose, what is it that you guys are trying to
Definitely we will continue with our profile projects, interviews. One of the things we found out after talking to so many people, whether they're interested in heritage or profiles, heritage is useful, but there's a lot of heritage being talked about already. So that's why they find when we talk about the profiles, that's the most positive response we got so
Okay.
far. So when it comes to profile, there's endless. There's so many people that we need to talk to and record. So there's always that. So whatever money that we have, there's always we have to allocate for that.
Yeah.
The other thing that we need to do is because we exist solely on the internet with a virtual existence, we need to have something on the ground.
Okay.
That people can appreciate more. That's more interactive, right? So part of the funding that we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of ground events. And the great thing about it is because when we are profiling all these unsung heroes, I mean, we have, okay, unsung heroes on this side, and then we are public on this side.
Yeah.
Imagine if we create events for both of these people to get together. And then the public can engage with all the sporting heroes, signature, photo shoot, whatever, you know, ask questions, Q&A. You know, there's so much live experience for them to share, especially the young people. You know, so I mean, already we have a few, I'm talking to some universities and colleges, but I won't mention that. I mean, they say, in fact, they want us to have the launch over at their side. I say, no, not really, you know. But definitely, if we can gather a team of not just sporting heroes, but women of achievement, for example, because we're also profiling a lot of these women who are achievers. You know, there are a lot of artists and musicians, whatever. So become a bit like an event organizer in a way. So there's a lot of things we can do. Plus also, you know, there's streaming that we can do with them. There's podcast, live Q&A that we can engage people to call in. You know, so and the great thing about it, all these people, because they're kind of retired and they have a lot of life experience there, they love to share. That's the thing. They love to share, you know. So for me, I'm so excited because I know there's a demand for it. You know, I just need to get it up because the only thing I don't have at the moment is money and time and energy. So I'm trying to drive on that.
So it's really to get more reach and different type of formats to get your unsung heroes to interact with the public. Okay. I think you guys have different tracks of doing sponsorship. I'm sure anyone that's interested can contact Bobby or Liyana directly. But I think one of the things that I think where pitchIN is helping out is we are also trying to do a crowdfunding program through digital tokens. And digital tokens, or we call it Token Crowdfunding, is something relatively new in Malaysia. Just approved by the SC last year to have this sort of business. And the idea is that I think the idea of having a digital token is that it's a way for different groups of people with the common interest to come together, right? I think that's very, very fitting to what you guys are trying to do. So I think right now we are structuring sort of a campaign, designing the tokens so that, you know, the public, if they're interested in this project, they can invest in this and be part of this community. But I think just as a teaser, because, you know, this is still under a review, we're working with the SC as well to get it sorted out. SC as in the regulator. So maybe could you give a bit of teaser, right? I think when it comes to the token, for readers or viewers or, you know, people that are interested to be part of this program and contribute a little bit to buy this token. What is it that this token represent? Like what do investors get, or what do holders get?
I think most important, I like the potential investors to feel that for a small amount, you know, you can be part of this project. You know, yes, we will try to use the token as a form of purchasing opportunity. I don't know if that's the right word, you know, because all these events we're going to do a lot of NFTs that we're planning to do with all these legends. Still very much exploratory at the moment. You know, there's a lot of opportunities there. But I think at the end of the day, it is, in a way, it's the call to arms. I mean, it sounds a bit dramatic, to be fair, you know. But really, I mean, for me anyway, you know, it's such a passionate project. I just feel that I want people to come in, to be part of it, just for a small sum, even, you know, up to you how much you want to give, but be part of this project. You know?
And I think that's exactly the right mindset, right? It's really about the project, what the vision is, and I think a lot of the projects out there that launch token is about the same thing. It's people that believe in the project. And of course, once you're in, then, you know, the tokens will give you utility because you're using it. For example, using it to participate in some of the events. By having tokens, you can actually, you know, sort of redeem it for tickets, for example. And I think another key thing that we mentioned earlier was also because there's so many people to profile, potentially they could be able to have a voice in terms of who they feel are unsung heroes that, you know, we need to profile, right? So I think correct me wrong, but I think these are two main areas, right? But I think starting point is really we're getting people that are passionate about this space, and then of course once you're there, this is one way to contribute, which rather than just just donating, you get a token which you can use within the project itself. And also, if you want, have a say in terms of potentially the direction of some of these projects that you're running, which I think is good. And I think the starting point should still be, you know, people that are passionate about this space, right? Okay, so I think that's the, and so I think we've talked about where you are at right now. We talk about generally, your very broad vision for this project and some of the things that you're doing, the fundraising that you're planning. I wanted to maybe just pick your brains a bit. I think something a bit more practical, right? I think we have a lot of listeners that are that after today or maybe before today, they are very passionate about history, but sadly to say, I think Malaysia is very hard to get involved, right? It's very hard to get involved. I think, I mean, I have friends that they are history buff, but they are in like an engineering job and they just read it on their free time. But I feel that people like them, they do want to get involved a bit more. So maybe just to pick your brains, right? Whether is it relating to the project itself or in general, if there is someone that is passionate about history, passionate about the arts and culture, what are some ways they can get involved, whether with the project or just in general in Malaysia?
The last few years, I think we all aware in the arts, at least in the arts and culture, there's an awakening. Among our Malaysians, there's an awakening of identity, of belonging, of the community getting more engaged in what's going on. We are more vocal than ever as a community. You know what I mean? In a way, we are pretty good democracy running here. You know what I mean, right? So in a way, good social media also helps. So firstly, that's very good. That's an awakening.
Yeah.
Okay. How the community can get more involved is they have to believe that at the end of the day, they can be, do not think of themselves as, and the way living history is a bit like this, is just because you think you're a small voice, important. So for every one of us, as I always say, if there's an election, go vote. Don't complain, go vote. If your community, right, got rubbish on the floor, get together with people, clean it up. Don't wait for the authorities to do it. Do it yourself. Be community. So in a way, this is about nation, it's your history, this is our identity. If you don't do it, no one's going to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that mindset that you are, no matter how, whatever your age, your income background, whatever, you have a part to play in this thing. So by learning, by educating yourself to be more consciously aware of your role in this nation.
And I think that's very good because if I resonate with it because I think what the idea is that it's really all these individual stories that we do, right? Being voting and helping the community to clean up. It is all these small histories that eventually shape the country.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's important. This mindset and in that case, really, there's a lot of ways you can contribute, right? Just sort of telling or creating your own stories in your own.
Be active, be productive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Make a difference. Yeah. At the end, make a difference. You can make a difference.
History.
Yeah. Make your own history. Make your own reality.
And then maybe one day you'll be profiled by.
Hey, you got stories to tell, right? I mean, that's where a lot of our profile they start off like we are.
Yeah.
We are little child running around, naughty boys, naughty girls, whatever, right? But they take action, right? They follow the right path.
Okay. So I think I just have one last question. I think then before we end the podcast, right? Just for both Bobby and Liyana, I think just maybe there's one final message that you want to tell the audience, something you want them to take away from today. What would that be, right? It could be anything. It could be sort of a life experience that you want to share with them. It could be just advice or call to action, right? If there's one message that you want the audience to take home today, what would that be?
Shall I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
On a general scale, it's really, we all can make a difference. I don't know, I could be wrong, but sometimes I feel Malaysians are too dependent on the politicians to get things done.
Yeah.
We should take a more active approach, getting sort of our own things. That's the first start to do it for everything. We are more in control of our lives than we think we are. That's my message to.
The mindset has to.
It's a mindset.
You're in control.
Yeah, you're in control. Do good things, do positive things.
Okay.
For the society.
Okay. That's a very good message. And Liyana, how about yourself?
I think mine would be more for the younger generation, and it's to learn up about history.
Okay.
Because
Myself,
my journey
I
on
take that
this,
to heart as well.
I learned so much that we have so much to be proud of as Malaysians. Like I know there's a lot of noise outside right now, and we all feel a little bit not too proud of our country, but actually we have a lot to be proud of as a nation. know our history.
Okay, that's good. And you can start from the website.
Living
yes.
history,
Nicely brings me to my segue, which if you guys want to know more about what Living History Project is doing, you can visit their website, which is www.livinghistoryproject.com.my. And you can also follow their socials, which is I think both Instagram and Facebook.
It's both the Living History
The
Project.
Living History Project. So you can get the details in in the link below. And I think with that, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you so much, Liyana.
Thank you
I think
so much for
for this
having
very
us.
colourful discussion. and I'll be there during your launch.
Oh, thank
so
you.
and once after the 19th of September, you can visit the website and you'll see a lot of interesting stuff. I'm particularly very excited about the hologram.
Not yet.
Not
Still
yet.
working on it.
Okay, at least preview of it.
Preview
of it.
of it.
I'm very excited about that. And thanks again. Thanks so much
Thank you.
for
Thank
being
you
here
for
with
having
us.
us. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Alright,
and
thank you.
thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks.
Happy Merdeka.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
happy
happy
Merdeka,
Merdeka.
everyone.